This video is going to be part of a two-part series because we need to talk about the opposing side too. We'll just do that in the next video here. Yeah, we can definitely dive into the Oilers, but today, what I wanted to do in this video was go over the Vancouver Canucks, and debatably, the one that got away. Not to get all Katy Perry on y'all, but today we are diving into Andrei Kuzmenko, who is playing for the LA Kings right now, and how this could potentially lead to a meaningful discussion as to whether or not Vancouver needs to reevaluate what they have. Andrei Kuzmenko made headlines as a Vancouver Canucks KHL signee who had posted up 74 points and 39 goals in his first year in the league. He had over a point per game in the KHL. He made his way over to North America and instantly became a goal-scoring machine. He scored hat tricks. He was the net front guy. He was putting in rebounds. He was tipping the puck in. He played so well with Elias Pettersson. And his stellar play allowed Pettersson to score 100 points in a season for the first time. Not to mention Miller being a point per game, Quinn Hughes around a point per game. Andrei Kuzmenko's first season in the National Hockey League with Bruce Boudreau was awesome. And despite the fact that the Bruce there it is lame duck situation did end up occurring the way it did, Kuzmenko and Pettersson still thrived together on a playoff-less Vancouver Canucks team in 2022-2023. The season after, however, with Rick Tocchet at the helm, Andrei Kuzmenko only scored 21 points in 43 games played. He didn't look all too great, and a lot of folks would go out there and say that this was Rick Tocchet's style, this was what Tocchet did to skilled players between Kuzmenko last season and then Nils Höglander and Daniel Sprong this season. You saw Rick Tocchet deploy a style of hockey that just didn't really fit with more of these skilled guys. Now, Höglander was a even-strength goal-scoring machine in Rick Tocchet's first year, but he did fall off a little bit this year, so you can make that argument over there. Andrei Kuzmenko, though, was quickly put in the doghouse. You could definitely tell that the offensive flexibility and the freedom that he had under Bruce Boudreau was being challenged a little bit by Rick Tocchet. And thus, the Canucks ended up trading Kuzmenko away in a big package deal to acquire Elias Lindstrom. I don't want to go out there and say that the Canucks should regret that because Elias Lindstrom did score some of the most important goals in the Vancouver Canucks first-round series against Nashville, but then he did leave in free agency, so the Canucks don't really have much to show for the Kuzmenko trade nowadays. Kuzi did have a really good stint in Calgary last season, 25 points in 29 games played. Then, when this previous season started, this is when Kuzmenko's time in Calgary definitely slowed down too. He didn't really have that good of an offensive bite in 24-25 with the Flames. He didn't really mesh too well with Kadri, with Huberdeau. He was just kind of ineffective. He had 15 points in 37 games played. Then he got traded over to Philadelphia to be Matvei Mishkov's mentor. He had 5 points in 7 games over there. But then the Philadelphia Flyers quickly realized, hey, we stink, we gotta trade this guy away because he's a rental, and then they sent him to the LA Kings. On LA, Kuzmenko was absolutely thriving, with 17 points in 22 regular season games and 5 points in 2 games against the Edmonton Oilers in this playoff run. He had 2 points yesterday and 3 points on Monday. Andrei Kuzmenko is literally the top point guy in the entire National Hockey League playoffs this year. He's been stellar. Wait, no, he's actually second. Yeah, Adrian Kempe is number 1. Never mind that. But between Kopitar, Kuzmenko, and Kempe, the KK... Oh, we're not going to say that. That line there has been so good. And we're going to refrain from giving them a label, but that is actually the line that they are playing with. Kuzmenko, Kopitar, Kempe. This line has been so good that it does kind of sting for Vancouver Canucks fans. Not necessarily because, oh yeah, Kuzmenko's in the playoffs, oh yeah, OEL's in the playoffs, oh yeah, Jalen Chatfield's in the playoffs, oh yeah, Anthony Bevillier's in the playoffs, oh yeah, Nate Schmidt's in the playoffs. All of these guys scored goals for their team so far in the 2025 Stanley Cup Playoffs. And a good chunk of them scored the first goals of their team's playoff runs. Not only is it the fact that all these former Canucks are going out there and doing great things, but it's also the fact that Andrei Kuzmenko is looking phenomenal. And now you're going out there and looking at this tweet made by Taj that has 75,000 views. Kuzmenko couldn't play for Tocchet, but he is thriving on one of the most defensive teams in the NHL. One of the top replies from Doodle Hockey goes out there and says this. I think it's a really good discussion. Honestly, fair point. Kuzmenko bounced around the league, found a nice fit with the Kings. But honestly, he always had offensive talent. Defensively, he's not perfect, but he still could be very successful in a defensive system like the Kings with the support that he has, and he is thriving. Found his home, finally. Looks like the Kings will keep him around for a while. And what this signals to me is a big question mark as to what the Vancouver Canucks want to do with their own team, what they are capable of doing with their own team. Because Andrei Kuzmenko right now, I mean, what is he at? 13 points in his last 10 games? 5 points in his last 2 games? This guy has been a menace, and this is more productive than the season he had with Elias Pettersson when he started out in the NHL. My question is Rick Tocchet hockey suitable to bring the best out of certain kinds of guys that can reach this level of play? LA is arguably a more defensively minded system than Vancouver. It's why I had them go into the gosh darn Stanley Cup Finals in my predictions video. This is the symptom of LA hockey that we can easily label out. The problem with the Kings for most of this year was that they couldn't score any goals. Darcy Kemper and the system, that was working. The Kings' defensively minded hockey was doing its job, but they were only winning games in the earlier parts of the year. 2-1, 1-0, 3-1, 3-2. They kept all their games low scoring because they couldn't really score themselves and they were really good defensively. And with the addition of Andrei Kuzmenko, playing him with Kopitar and Kempe, now they're starting to score goals, and it's why they won 9 out of their last 10 regular season games. The LA Kings are looking phenomenal right now, and Andrei Kuzmenko is thriving. Does this paint a bad picture for Rick Tocchet and the Vancouver Canucks? They had great success in the season they traded Andrei Kuzmenko away. They made the playoffs, they were 1 game away from beating the Stanley Cup runner-ups, and it was a really big time in Vancouver. But now Andrei Kuzmenko is showing his value that you could debate was already there. And my question is this more of a symptom of Kuzmenko not really being all too consistent, or is this more of a symptom of Canucks coaching staff not being able to bring the best out of their guys? Kuzmenko didn't really do well in Calgary this previous season, or this season, I guess you could say. So that also plays a part into it, but he was reasonably productive in Philadelphia. It's just the Flyers were not really a good team, and also Kuzmenko didn't play too many games with the Flyers because he had to get a lot of work visa issues sorted out. He had only played in 2 Canadian franchises after all, so he needed the American work permit. But nowadays, he's doing fantastically well in LA. Second most productive player in the playoffs so far, smoking the Edmonton Oilers. And yeah, by the way, we do have to talk about the Edmonton Oilers. For now, though, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Andrei Kuzmenko's departure from Vancouver and his absolute dominance in LA this season? Is this a problem for the Vancouver Canucks? Is this something that you can say goes against Vancouver? Does this open the door to more meaningful discourse on whether or not Vancouver is getting the best out of their coaching staff? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.